Okay, we're back doing the forms of the subjunctive. I did the present, and I showed you that you change the stem vowels to form your subjunctive forms. If you want to look at more detail for all these other conjugations, go ahead and look it up in your end of Cambridge book or in FAR. They're in both of them. And there's a little mnemonic device that people like to do for this. Sometimes people get confused by it, but basically it goes like this. Clem eats clams. And the idea that clem eats clams means in first conjugation that long A changes to an E. So that's first. In second conjugation, the E changes to an EA, like eats. Okay, that's second. And in third conjugation, third IO, and fourth, you change to a. Just remember with the ones that have the I, like third IO and audiat, which is a long I, you got to keep that I in there. So this is for third and fourth. It changes to an A, you add an A in there. So clem eats clams is one way of remembering it mnemonically. First, second, third, fourth. Okay? Moving on to the imperfect subjunctive. Imperfect subjunctive. Imperfect subjunctive is super easy. All you do to form it is you take the infinitive and you add endings. Okay? So amare, just write amare and you add the endings. M. Remember, M-O-S-T, musticent. Amarem, I would have loved, okay? Amares. Notice I'm just doing my infinitive right here, plus my endings. Amaret. Amaremus. Amaratus. And amarant. And that's how you do that one. And it's a subjunctive that's unreality. It's used in different situations, and it's in the past ongoing action. That's imperfect. Perfect subjunctive. You use the perfect active, because we're in active right now. These are all actives. Use the perfect active stem. Ama, and then you just do amawerim. You use airy for the perfect, okay? And that's the one that gets used. Amawerim is the one you do. I'm just double checking something, making sure I'm not telling you something wrong. Amawerim. Okay? Airy plus endings. Amaweris. And you might notice this is the same as the future perfect, right? Almost the same. Amawero is future perfect, but basically it's the same. That's why a lot of people think, future and subjunctive, they were maybe the same forms at one time. Amawerit. Amawerimus. Amaweritis. Amawerint. And that's how it goes. Okay, perfect subjunctive in mood, perfect in tense, simple completed action. This is ongoing action, imperfect. Okay, and then we got our last one, which is the pluperfect. Okay, and pluperfect is a little bit different. It's same, use the perfect stem, right? Perfect active stem, active. And it's ise, wisem. So ise is what you put in. And this form right here is the perfect infinitive. Wisem. We had that. We talked about that in another podcast, I think, or a video. Wise is to have loved. You just add endings on the perfect infinitive, or the perfect active stem plus ise plus endings, and that's how you form it. Wisem. Wises. Wiset. Wisemus, Wisatus, Wisent. And that, my friends, is the pluperfect subjunctive. So in this case, you add had for the translation, right? And it's a completed action in the very distant past, or the more past, and it's subjunctive. So a lot of times you see the pluperfect like with cum clauses. I'll give you an example. You say something like cum caecilius id audivisset iratus fuit. Okay, something like that. When Caecilius had heard it, he was angry. Okay? When Caecilius had heard it. So you see this a lot with cum clauses, he said. And this is not so much unreality, but it's just in a subordinate clause. So sometimes when things get put in a subordinate clause, this is the main clause. When things are in a subordinate clause, they get put in subjunctive. It's just how it works. Like when this had happened, it's conditional, it's kind of dependent on this, then he was angry. Okay, so those are your forms of the subjunctive active. In the next video, I'll do subjunctive passive. Walete.